10 years ago, when I was just starting to work with Ruby on Rails, everybody was using Bootstrap. And Bootstrap is actually great. For example, if you want to have a button in your application, you would just type button primary. So you see there are these semantic names that are easy to remember, and you don't need to write a bunch of custom styles, or you don't have to use utility classes as Tailwind proposes. Nowadays, everybody is using Tailwind. It is the most popular, I think, CSS framework for Ruby on Rails, and the approach with Tailwind is that you don't use components, you have utility classes. Utility classes are basically more comfortable to write styles, so radius 10 instead of body radius 10 pixels. So the syntax for writing is much easier, and you can quite easily remember the names of the Tailwind utility classes. But the problem with Tailwind is that if you want to create a button, you would need to write maybe like 20 utility classes, whereas with Bootstrap, it's just a very nice API, button primary. So here, you would want to reuse a button, you need to copy paste the classes, and it's so uncomfortable. Then there are all these Ruby on Rails component libraries, and they want to componentize the CSS so that you can reuse it in a more comfortable way. Let's see how different component libraries use buttons. Let's see, here we have button, so NitroKit button, you have NitroKit button, the default one, NitroKit primary button, destructive button. So you would need to write less custom CSS, you would just use their buttons. Let's see how it is done by Polaris, for example. Let's see. Polaris button. So you have Polaris button, you have Polaris button variant primary and destructive. So you see they have their own, each of these libraries have their own APIs to more or less the same components, and need to learn these APIs. But I think, from my experience at least, the best of both worlds between the utility classes from Tailwind and the components from Bootstrap is offered by DaisyUI. So this is a component layer on top of TailwindCSS. And let's see how you would want to create a button with DaisyUI. So you see the API is more or less the same as Bootstrap, button neutral, button primary, so it is short, it is semantic, it is easy to remember. And it is just a layer on top of Tailwind, so you could still apply the Tailwind classes like width full. And it is, I would say, easier to remember than writing the like Ruby NitroKit primary button or Polaris button and adding the variants. So let's try using DaisyUI in Ruby on Rails application. Here I have a new Ruby on Rails application running. Let's open it. Let's create a basic scaffold. Now, before I do it, I will show you. So I installed TailwindCSS. I create this application with TailwindCSS by default using Rails new my app c equals Tailwind or TailwindCSS, I don't remember, one of these. But basically I already have TailwindCSS installed. And now if I create a scaffold, let's say Rails generates scaffold, post, title, body, text, it is going to generate the scaffold with already some Tailwind CSS here to style everything. I think this Tailwind CSS was approved by Adam Wethin, the creator of Tailwind CSS. So if I go to the application, I go to roots and set root to post index, you see it's already kind of styled with some Tailwind CSS. And let's look at this Tailwind. So going to index, you see, for example, the links and buttons. It has a bunch of these utility classes for the buttons. And it would be a pain to copy paste it all around. Let's see, are these two, the edit and show, the same? Yeah, these two are the same, but destroy is different because it's using different colors. And for this, we can try replacing these buttons with DaisyUI. So let's try to install DaisyUI. I'll go to DaisyUI, install for Rails. So I already have a new Rails app. I already have TailwindCSS installed by default. I'm going to copy these two scripts. It's going to add a couple of JS files into my application. So it will add a couple of JS files, Daisy theme and DaisyUI.js. And now I will go to application CSS in the Tailwind folder, and I'm going to copy this. I don't need this source none thing, just like that. And now I will restart the server just in case. You see it says DaisyUI is running, and now let's try using some DaisyUI components. So I will copy this, I'll go back to my application, and I'll try adding this button primary here. And you see, here we added a button primary, and it already works just like that. So now I can try to reuse the buttons around my application. I will use button primary for new post, btn primary. And you see here we're using the component instead of just typing in the custom utility classes. Let's see what it offers us for links and destroy buttons. So it would be just the default button. Here we have button with the error variant, and you see, just like that, we are already not using these long utility classes that we would want to copy paste. See what's the difference. We can just use all components that have been created for us by people who know CSS well, and we can just reuse them. So another thing I would want to do in any application is set the default background color and text color. So going to application HTML. Here I would go to head to HTML and set background base 100 and text based content. So I refresh, you see it's more or less the same, nothing has changed, but now it is going to work well in dark mode. So if I don't add these, why is it working? Okay, maybe I have something cached, but dark mode is not supposed to work. Let's set background base 100. Let's try to see if it works. I will set it to 300. Okay, the color has changed. Yeah, so if we set the background and the color on the application, just like that, we already have basic dark mode working. And there's really a bunch of really nice DaisyUI components that you can use. For example, dock. Previously, I created a SupeRails video about footer navigation on mobile and how to create this kind of footer that would work nicely on mobile. And DaisyUI has this component dock that lets you create this kind of mobile footer navigation. Let's try to copy this element and put it in our application. So on the main, here I'll put the dock. And let's see if it renders. So here, just like that, we have a dock. We can use our own links. So link to posts. Let's see. So now these are actual links in our application. We have only two real links that we can use, posts and new post. Both of them are active at the moment because they have been given dock active. We can say it can be conditional. So now we have a footer navigation, and you don't want this footer navigation to be there on large screens. You want it only for mobile. So we are just going to add the TailwindCSS large screen hidden. And now you have footer navigation on mobile working just like that. So you don't need to write your own custom CSS. You don't need to reinvent the wheel for this component. So I highly recommend you to get acquainted with the components that DaisyUI provides and use them where possible inside your application instead of writing custom CSS. It helps a lot. Another couple of things that DaisyUI offers is themes. So let's try adding themes. I will add this, so by default it is light for light mode and dark for dark mode. If I refresh the page now, nothing is really going to change. Let's go to light mode. But let's see what themes DaisyUI has out of the box. So it has a luxury theme, for example. It would be a quite nice dark mode theme. So I will set luxury for dark mode. Now going back to my application, I will set dark mode, and here you see I'm using already this luxury theme. And for light mode, let's change the theme to something like autumn, or maybe lemonade. No, let's do autumn. So I will set autumn, refreshing, and you see it's already a different theme. And just like that, you can actually also create your own themes. So if you have your own Figma with your own colors, with your own border radiuses, you can set it all here, export it into your application, and use your own theme. And another thing I like doing was adding a prefix as DU. So it lets you have DU button and DU button primary. When I was just starting to learn DaisyUI, it helped me to know which component is a Daisy component and which is not a Daisy component. If you have your own components, if you have your own CSS components in the app. So I will comment this out. You see, it's not using DaisyUI anymore. Okay, and another thing. So if you're using DaisyUI, they have an LLM helper. Let's search for LLM. So there's this instruction, press Command-Shift-P, Command-Shift-P, and add new custom docs. And you would add this URL. Maybe just like this. So it will add the DaisyUI docs, and now your LM knows how to use DaisyUI. You see, I added docs for DaisyUI and for Avo. And you can also, when doing prompts, reference DaisyUI. So it will know to look in the DaisyUI LLM prompts for DaisyUI components that it can use to create your CSS. So if you're not using DaisyUI yet, but you are using Tailwind, I highly recommend you to try installing DaisyUI and step by step try to replace your existing buttons and other components with DaisyUI components. They are semantic, they were written really well, and they work well in dark mode and light mode.